What's the haps? I'm John, aka Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. We set forth this week into the Jade Titan Gate, which is more jellies actually, because I wanted to do more jellies. More jellies was what I felt like. I don't know, it's some sort of weird jelly mood I'm in, I guess. Yeah, jellies for all. Or at least for your video content, if nothing else. Jellies for all video content. At least, if nothing else, it will be keeping Nick Popovich happy. He'll be a happy man if he were to watch my videos and go, ah, look at those jellies. I created those jellies. He would see them, and he would be happy. I imagine he would be anyway. That's how things play out in my mind. So, yeah. I will probably stop doing jelly sometime soon, but two of the options in the gates this week were like fiends, and I was like, Fiends are only for occasions when I haven't done fiends in a really, really long time, and I did that not so long ago. I was like, I haven't done fiends in so long, I should do fiends. And it has not yet been like 3 months since last time I did fiends, so nah. So we're doing jellies. Jellies. Let us do some Spiral Knights news. Yeah. I probably could have hesitated a moment longer to have not summoned those things. Because I'm going to need to open up the Supply Depot to show you the latest in a range of exciting and new cosmetic opportunities for you to decorate your character with. Let me just a dispatch of the... Oh no, he's wandering off. Okay, they're not interested in me, so we can take a look at shoppings. We have, under the purchase tab, we have Slumber Prize boxes, which obviously are totally not... There we go, yeah. No, obviously not promoted at the top of the page very well, but yeah, sleepy themed. Yes, continuing on with our theme of reskinning everything to make it look like you were afflicted with various status conditions, we now have slumber things, which obviously doesn't really feature prominently in the game because they removed one of the only, if not the only, yeah, I think the only enemy that actually inflicts sleep on your knights. And so, yeah, now you can actually pretend to be sleeping. The stars on here are a nice little touch. That at least is something that's kind of makes it a little unique. There's some new stuff in there. It's a little bit... It's not just straight up reskin like a lot of stuff has been. So there's some stuff there. I think one of the most contentious parts of it is that there is a new shield in that, which does not share stats with any other shield. It is not a reskin of existing shields. That teddy bear that you saw the knight carrying, that teddy bear is now a shield. This is in the game. It is... What's the resistances on it? It is... normal shadow are what it resists in ratios very similar to the one people were comparing it to was the heater shield, I think, and the power met. But the resistances on it were stun, and I could have done my research better. Either way, it had resistances that no other shield had. The statistics were similar to another thing, but had different resistances, and everyone was like, no, this is a new shield, and now it's yet another item, which marks, to be fair, the third item now added to the game, which you can't get. Well, you can get it without paying money, but somebody somewhere had to pay some real money to get it. You can't get it without somebody somewhere in the game having done the whole gambling shtick and got the item that way. And then they will sell it on to you at a tremendous markup and at great profit to themselves. That's how the market works. Yay. So... That's, at this point, I'm kind of past caring, to be honest, but I don't like the situation, but it's not something that I think is even ever going to impact my gameplay in any way, shape or form whatsoever at this stage, so nuts to the lot of it. Nuts to the lot of it. If you want it, go buy it. It's not going to affect me one tiny iota. I think it has a slightly different charge attack, but again, I've not gone out of my way to really look at it. I only say this because I noticed it did mention in the patch notes, there was like a hotfix update mini patch thing that said they'd fixed the charge attack, which I presume, by which I take to mean this. I can presume they mean that, because that's the only one I'm aware of that would have a charge attack in the update, unless they added a weapon and I'm really behind the times. Yeah, that it could apparently damage allies, which is amusing and definitely bugged. So yeah, that works now. Pokeria comes to an end soon-ish. It may well even have done so by the time this video goes live. Recording it as I am a day in advance, so I'm not sure exactly when a Pokeria ends, but a Pokeria will be ending soon. If you need your things, you should be probably getting them quick fast. Otherwise, yes, Please enjoy your shadowy obsidian weapons that you either got long ago in the sands of time or more recently. Whenever you got them, enjoy them. I certainly never use mine, because the traditional ones are superior, in my honest opinion. It just does more damage, that's why it's superior. It just straight up does. Yeah, and I like my damage, man. Anyway, let's move on to some of the questions that you have sent me in the comments over the last few weeks. Got a few. Don't need to bribe you all just yet. I may do one day, but not today. We have one. I'm going to answer this because, firstly, I kind of got a topic that kind of popped up in the news this week. Because being at work, we got the radio on, we got Radio 2 on at work, gotta listen to the radio. It's just, yeah, traditional media, I know, but they were talking about something that kind of seemed relevant to this. So I might as well ramble on about it for a little bit. And also, I genuinely can't... It's been sat... This one question has been sat on my notes for weeks, and I can't remember if I answered it and forgot to delete it, or if I didn't answer it, and if so, why I didn't answer it. Diamond Blaze asked, at some point, what kind of the world ends as we know it here scenarios would humanity survive, and how? These could include some very, very speculative science fiction-y type things, including the Large Hadron Collider going wrong. I think the worst thing that could happen there is somebody gets a severe dose of radiation poisoning. Or possibly an explosion in Switzerland. I don't know how dangerous it particularly is. I don't think it's it's not... As much as people like to hype it up as this crazy science fiction, superpowered, ultra-villain kind of crazy thing, it's a science experiment. It's not going to end the world. The LHC could not end the world. So, no, that would not work. Gamma burst from outer space? Yeah, also probably not. That just... I guess... could happen, but the chances of it happening would be very, very slim. And I don't think it's... I don't know how much research has been done into what would actually happen. I mean, we would get bombarded with a lot of radiation. I guess a lot of that radiation would potentially get caught in our magnetic field, because that's kind of what it does. That said, gamma radiation is sort of electromagnetic more than anything else. Whether that would get caught or not, would they be ionized particles? Maybe it wouldn't get caught in that. Maybe it would just be bombarded with, yeah, ionizing radiation. That would not be good for anybody on the planet. I think you would see a lot of irradiated stuff. You'd kind of end up with, I don't know, maybe everyone kind of like Chernobyl, but Chernobyl survived, technically. You go over there, it's... Well, there's plenty of pictures and articles and things documenting it online. I wouldn't mind seeing it just because it's freaky as heck. Yeah, let's get rid of that and take one of those, because you don't see those very often. And I will forget to use it, so let's forget to use that. Yeah, look up some pictures of Chernobyl these days. It's like a nature reserve now, but it's freaky as all hell. They obviously couldn't evacuate animals, so there's all sorts of weird mutated animals that are just kind of chilling there. Well, I'm probably over-dramatizing quite what you could expect to see there, but yeah, it's kind of creepy. Humans just haven't been allowed to go there for decades, and so it's just been reclaimed by nature. And then in the middle of it all, there's still just a super crazy radioactive zone. So maybe everything would become like Chernobyl. Things would continue, but they would never be the same. The one I did want to touch on is the one which chances are we are incredibly likely to have to encounter at some point within the next century, as seems to be the running theme of the season of Spiel. Yeah, we've got something that came up on the radio. This is what I wanted to talk about, is as regards antibiotics, which is, they were discussing it and whether I should give them to people that don't need them or not. Because it has been a contentious issue for a while. We've got various strains of bacteria becoming resistant to antibiotics because we're overusing them, basically. And a lot of people think that there's some weird magical cure-all that will cure everything, and of course they don't. They don't work on anything viral, and a lot of diseases are viral. If you have a cold, if you have the flu, if you have pneumonia, it's all viral. Antibiotics won't do a damn thing for you. They won't do anything at all. But people go to the doctor and are like, give me antibiotics, or I'm going to get in a huff and make a scene and shout and scream and go to another doctor and do it to them if you really, really won't play ball. And you kind of get these stories that eventually doctors are just kind of acquiescing and just dishing the damn things out just to shut people up. Whereas people just assume they know better than the doctor. The doctor says, look, I can't give you antibiotics. They won't do anything for you. People are like, no, you're wrong. I need these antibiotics. I'm ill. The antibiotics will cure me. It's like, no, they won't. And they make a scene. And eventually the doctor, just to shut them up, gives them the damn things. And this happens, well, just far too often. And this is how we end up with, like, MRSA superbugs, which are resistant to antibiotics. Because we used them too much, and they got acclimatized to them, and resistant, and they mutated, and yeah, so that's not good. And if we keep doing that, like, we're going to end up with a lot of superbugs, and a lot of common diseases that could be quite easily treated, a lot of common infections that would easily be treated by antibiotics just won't be. And so that's going to change, like, surgery and medicine dramatically, and set us back to, I think I'd be hard pressed to tell you the date when antibiotics were invented, but the figure I keep heard mentioned is that it would put medicine back to about the state of the 1930s from then on, because there would be no antibiotics. Anytime you went in for surgery, yes, they've got anesthetic and they could sterilize things and try and keep conditions sanitary, but ultimately the fact is that, you know, within surgical procedures, you are, you know, cutting people open, and ultimately that leads to infection vectors, and if an infection gets in, you would like a way to be able to fight it, and that, my friends, that is exactly when you should be using antibiotics. But if antibiotics don't work, then a lot of people are going to be dying from very, very common preventable illnesses, because either people are big babies who can't frickin' deal with the flu and just suck it up because your antibiotics aren't going to do anything. Go get some bed rest and deal with it. Or equally, the blame goes to the doctors, who should be able to deal with those situations better. This is mostly the topic of debate. The way the popular media presents these things is awful. We had the woman hosting the show is like, it's always done with this, the argument is done for balance, we've got to argue for both sides of things, and open the argument with, well, people are asking for antibiotics and they're getting what they want. Is this not a good thing? And it's like, no. I mean, I recognize it's just kind of a devil's advocate thing, but it's like, why is this position even being given consideration? Maybe to illustrate a point, but I don't know, I feel like it could potentially give people the wrong idea. Ooh, quick question from Queen Superior. Why don't I do danger rooms? They take too long and they're likely to kill me. That's why. If I do that, we're tacking 5 to 10 minutes onto the end of the video, and these videos already take long enough to render, so I ain't adding that on. And also, I'm likely to die, so nuts to that. Not happening. I ain't spending no sparks on no spiral spiels. Not worth it. Not worth it. Not to me. So yes, antibiotics, and that is going to be a problem. We can kind of, again, try to address it through education and getting doctors to man the hell up and stop dishing out pills like candy to anybody who asks for them. That would be a good start, but we are running out of antibiotics that are effective. Some of them, there are some strains of some forms of antibiotics that just aren't effective anymore. So, yeah, humanity would survive that. But yeah, it would change the face of medicine and life as we would know it forever. We would be putting medical conditions back, like, better part of a century, if not. Well, I think by the time this actually becomes an issue, it probably would be about a century. So yeah, that would probably have ramifications, and you would not have the same experience going to hospital. You would be fearing for your life every goddamn time. Yeah, wouldn't want that. Wouldn't want that. It can be avoided, but I believe there are organizations out there who are pouring a lot of money into doing research to try and develop a new antibiotic, which I guess would have to be paired hand in hand with using it responsibly from then on, if they're successful, and I hope to God they are successful. Jesus Christ. I really, really hope they're successful. Yeah, that's gonna have to go very, very closely with doctors not dishing that new one out to anybody who wants one. That would have to go hand in hand with people realizing that it is not some magical panacea cure-all thing that will ail all their woes regardless of circumstance. These things need to happen. Those things should be happening already, just in the hopes that we can, you know, keep a couple of the drugs that we still have still functional. But, yeah. It may be too late. It may be too late. This is again the running theme. All these things that could end humanity, or at least change the face of the world forever. It may be too late. So that's a good scenario in which the world ends here as we know it. In a scenario that robots do take over the world and kill off 90% of humanity, this is also from Diamond Blaze, do you think we could somehow take the Earth back when we know they are constantly reproducing and making better ones of themselves? Well, you're gonna a bit Matrix there, I guess. Huh. In a Matrix scenario, yeah, I guess we could just pin all our hopes on Neo or something. I don't know. That's getting a little bit far-fetched. If we're talking, yeah, technological singularity, and they can constantly make better robots, and oh look, the T-800 has just invented the T-1000. Oh, what will the T-1000 invent? Yeah, probably no. I think we're dead. I don't think that's happening too well. That can't go well. Let us try to implement the 3 laws, guys. If any of you out there watching ever invents a robot capable of making informed decisions, please implement the 3 laws of robotics. Arguably the 4 laws if you're going to go into Zeroth law. Zeroth law is good. Zeroth law is actually well, it's theoretically better than having 3 laws, but it can also end up destroying all of robots forever. I was getting a little bit too deep into Asimov, but yeah, go read some Asimov. If you've not read much Asimov, go read more of that. I have not read anywhere near enough Asimov. I need to go read more of that. Let's all go read Asimov together. Who wants to start a book club? Should we do an Isaac Asimov book club? Don't hold me to that. I know at least one person can go, hey, that sounds great. Can we do that? And I'm like, no. I have no idea how to run a book club. No, let's not do that. Plus, I read things for entertainment. I don't know what the themes and ideas and any kind of sort of analysis of literature is. I just know that robots and space are entertaining things. Yay, space! So yeah, those are those. A name I cannot pronounce. I will have to spell it out because I cannot pronounce it. O-N-J-N-G? I think that's a foreign name. I think that's actually someone's name, but it's a name in a language that pronounces things in a different way to my language, and I have no idea how that is pronounced. I haven't got a clue. We don't have that name over here. We don't have those combinations of letters in that format. Our tongues do not make those sounds. How do you pronounce that? He says, how was your week? Pretty quiet so far, actually. Quiet week of work. Been pretty slow on orders and stuff, so went home early today. It was okay. I don't mind getting home from work early. Early finishes are okay by me. I do not have a high cost of living, so I don't mind getting out of work early. Some people are like, boo, I don't get paid if I have to go home early. It's like, I could take an hour's less pay for getting home an hour early. I can live without that hour's pay for a little bit more free time in my day. I am A-okay with this state of affairs. So, yeah, not been bad. Not been bad. Thanks for asking. How are you? Ouch, spikes. I was better until I stood on the spikes. The spikes made everything bad. I am Phoenix says, did you ever make an alt account in Spiral Knights for the purpose of farming more crowns? Nope, never. I'm a Steam player, and I believe that that format only really works if you're not a Steam player anyway. If I'm right in thinking that. I think it's if your account's tied to your Steam account, alts aren't really gonna do a lot for you, and you'd have to make like another Steam account, and no, you need the non-Steamy accounts. And Steam's where it's at, man. That monopoly, the all-important, all-consuming gaming behemoth that is Valve Software. That's probably not what their company's actually called. Is it Valve Software? Is that what they're actually called? I don't know. Valve, you know what I'm talking about. You know the Valves. In your early days of playing Spiral Knights, what was the most fun part of playing? I don't know. That was 4 years ago, man. I don't know why I'm still here. That's quite impressive. I'm still here after 4 years. I'm not even. Did I even play World of Warcraft for that long? I probably did, actually. Yes. No, it's just a fun game. Good game to play. I had more friends back then as well, because they hadn't all quit playing. so I could play with friends. I recognize I've got quite the extensive friends list at this point, but I don't know who most of you are. Hello to everybody who added me as a friend. I haven't met most of you. Many of you have never even spoken to me, but okay. And everybody who I did speak to and play with on a regular basis was fun. That's the thing with MMOs. It's the social thing. Even if the game's not the greatest thing in the world, the social thing makes things good. Which is again why World of Warcraft is so successful and why I played it for so long and so much. It wasn't the best MMO ever. It was just a social thing. I mean, gotta be honest, if I want to talk about the best MMO, well, best MMO ever is quite a claim, but a far superior game from just from a game design and MMO perspective, I would say is WildStar. But the problem is, nobody I know ever played WildStar, so I never really got into a social group. It was kind of meeting people blind, and I don't know. I got into World of Warcraft through a friend who played World of Warcraft. I didn't go into World of Warcraft and make friends in the game. It was, I knew other people and then kind of went from there and got in a guild and got raiding and stuff. WildStar, I never kind of got that, which is kind of where that one fell flat for me, unfortunately. There were no people that I knew to keep me going. MMO's about friends, even though I play this solo. Whatever, I don't know. I like playing solo, but having people to talk to, I guess. I guess that's kind of how that works for me. Yeah. I'll play by myself, but as long as I've got a chat in the corner, that works. It's cool. Do you think this... what... a link to one of my previous videos, which is why do you think the creators of Spiral Knights have not treated their fan base fairly in the long run? I think I addressed this in the comments specifically. I think that was a misinterpretation of what I said. I didn't say that Three Rings had not treated the fan base fairly. I think what I specifically said was that the free-to-play business model that Three Rings had chosen for themselves to support themselves had not treated Three Rings well in the long run. Basically, the way they had chosen to make money out of this game has not rewarded them in the long run well enough to be able to sustain the game as well as they would like to be able to sustain the game. It's nothing to do with the players, it's nothing to do with that. It's a weird way of phrasing it, I guess, but yeah, it is more the return on their business model. I guess a more successful one would have been a lot more aggressive, and that would have been a lot less fair to the player, but they would have made a lot more money out of it. I'll be honest, this ties into what else have we got? There's someone I'm trying to see. Did I write this one down? Oh, Augustus Milius says, "How do you not get bored of the game? Please let me know I'm getting bored." That also ties into something that I wanted to mention is I probably this week, I think I'm going to try and do this week. I've got a lot of thoughts on exactly how you could save this game. There are lots of design ideas and stuff from other games that you could take inspiration from that would actually, I think, drive a lot of life back into this game. So I want to do one of my Let's Talk About videos, which will just be a lot of design ideas about how one could rejuvenate the player base of Spiral Knights, get me interested in playing, get a lot of other people who have also quit re-interested in playing, as well as driving new players to it, and retaining the players that do exist, and ultimately being more profitable as a business model. There are profitable but fair business models. They don't all have to be Candy Crush. That you can make money and be good to your players. I know it's a crazy theory, but I do genuinely believe it to be true. I think that's something you can do as a game designer. Genuinely believe that. So I'm going to try and put together a video at some point, hopefully this week. Don't hold me to anything. Never hold me to anything. I don't promise anything, because if I don't promise anything, nobody can hold me to anything. So don't hold me to this, because I'm not promising anything, but I'm going to try to put that video together at some point this week. That's the thing. So yeah. And what cool promo or event do you think should be added to the game that the fanbase might actually enjoy, or that you personally would enjoy? Anything that's not just pure cosmetics, just content, for the love of God. I would enjoy something that is content. Give me missions, give me stuff to do, give me a thing, let me play some things. God damn, let me play some things that aren't the same thing I've already seen several times before, many times before. I have done the Clockworks to death. I have played all of the promos several times over. I got all the things I could ever possibly want from the promos. I have not got all the things I could possibly get from the promos, but I got all the things I could possibly want. The Torture Drone stuff is not terribly useful as an item in my mind. And it also requires you to probably get yourself killed a lot in the acquiring of said items, so not a fan of that. It's a cool event, but goddamn, it costs you some sparks of life in the long run. So we don't do that. Tell you what, this kind of wants to go down here, doesn't it? So we want one of these in here. We have a nice little arena room, and I hadn't thought to use my turret yet, so... My god, it acts as a decoy as well. Jeez. That takes all the flack for me. They all went and... Oh, yeah, it had a health meter. It got killed really quickly, because it aggroed everything. Damn! Well, that was not the most useful thing I've ever done in my life. Hey-ho. What else we got? Mohammed Saleh says, are you going to consider finishing Spiral Knights Reloaded or doing Shadow Lair videos? I wouldn't mind doing the Ice Queen at some point. I think that's... I don't think... Jeez, I really need to be more careful about stuff. I think that's the only Shadow Lair I've not actually done. No, wait, no, I did the Shadow... No, it's the Red Romulus Twins is the only one I've not actually done. That's the one. So I should do that at some point, but that would require me to get a group of people to go with, and everybody I know who plays on a regular basis that I would normally do video content with has stopped playing. So that ugly little problem rears its head once again. So that's not ideal. God damn. This is actually a surprisingly effective weapon, though. A laggy weapon, but a surprisingly effective weapon. Damn at my frame rate. That might have been enemies spawning in, actually. That's what that could have been. When everything stops, that usually means a bunch of stuff you didn't want to fight has just appeared. And judging by the friggin' Devilites, what the hell, man? Someone opened a monster box, didn't ya? Who opened that particular Pandora's box of tricks? Was it you? Which one of you cats was it? One of you did it. So, Shadow Lair, maybe if I could convince Latazan et al. To do that with me. And Spiral Knights Reloaded, probably not. Probably not at this point. Look, I've always kind of kept that series open as a, yeah, one day. Yeah, one day was originally supposed to be when the Gunner update rejuvenates the game. It did not rejuvenate the game. Like, anywhere near enough. Interestingly, I was sort of... I will probably incorporate these figures into my video, actually, that I'm working on. But yeah, there's, if you go onto Steam charts, you can sort of track the sort of the player base of Spiral Knights over time, or at least the Steam-based player base. And you can kind of pinpoint the jumps in player activity to specific promos. You can say, what happened in this particular month when the player base just tripled? And yeah, I'll get into those particular nitty-gritties on another occasion, but that one's a fun one to look at. Yay, statistics! So yeah, the Gunner update was not what I wanted it to be. It was nice. It was not the saving grace the game demanded. Well, it might have been a very nice addition to the game had it come a year earlier than it did. If it came sort of around the time Nick had said, hey, we're working on a Gunner update. If that had popped up like a month later or in December when they first said it would appear, rather than the following November, was it? Whenever it was way late. And yeah, if it appeared when they first said that first release date, yeah, it would have all been gravy. That would have been fantastic. But it was not. So yeah, Nimcha never got the good weapons that she needed to kill all the things, and Nimcha was still stuck in the bloody content gates, which the mission system implements, which is a really awful system, by the way. I will also talk about that later this week, how that system is really, really bad. That's another thing. I'm covering most of the content now, actually. Yeah, the mission system is just... it's prohibitive to players who just want to play the game. People want to experience your content, and you're just saying, no, this is not for you until you play the same things you've already played over and over again some more. That's a bad system, by the way. That's a really bad system. Don't do that. If you're a game developer, don't do that. So, yeah, Nimcha's probably never going anywhere because I can't be asked to deal with fire crystals. She's on some shining fire crystals, and for someone who's already 5-star rated, shining fire crystals are nothing. For someone who's trying to get all those shining fire crystals the first time around, that's a pain in the butt. That really is. That's not good. So, there's that, and then there's the orbs. The eternal issue of the orbs. The eternal issue of the eternal orbs. So that's not happening either. It's all a sorry state of affairs. I had a really good question, but it's probably going to be a little bit longer, so I'm going to do some quickies and save the good question for next week, I think, because that's a bit more of an interesting topic. I am Phoenix from... Oh, I've got 2 batches of I am Phoenix's questions. I must have got last week's and this week's questions. I appreciate it. If people want to send me like 5 questions at a time, like I am Phoenix, those would be great. I like those. Those fill big gaps in content. What video game is underrated and what video game is overrated? Overrated, I would definitely say... don't hate me, but Legend of Zelda... the Ocarina of Time. I'm pretty... well, any of them, to be fair. I don't know. I've not really delved into many of them. I did delve into Ocarina of Time because it was supposed to be one of the best games of all time. Way overrated. I did not enjoy that game as much as the rest of humanity did. Nah. Underrated. Oh man, I had trouble thinking of something for this. And I still am actually kind of... everything I was like, oh yeah, this game was well underrated. Actually, you sort of look at the numbers, it turns out it was actually pretty well acclaimed. Turns out the things that I actually think are pretty good, other people do think are pretty good. Maybe not underrated, but not nearly as successful as they could or should have been. I would say Always Sometimes Monsters is massively not underrated because it was critically acclaimed, but wasn't received as well as it deserved to be. God damn, Grievous in my jelly levels, why? And I am actually out of pills now. So that's fun times. I really should have brought Voltage here. That would have saved me a lot of heartache. Ugh. Die! Cats! I got my emergency revive. I'm just getting chipped away to death. I'm just being whittled down by so many cats and stray shots and things. And... what game would you like to see take off? Spiral Knights. I would like to see Spiral Knights take off because I've got some really good search rankings on YouTube for Spiral Knights videos. If you search for Spiral Knights, you will find me. I'm, according to, well, when I look for my, if I look for Spiral Knights on YouTube, I think I rank like 3rd on videos. Last time I mentioned that to Fixer, he was like, oh, on my search listings, you're 2nd. I'm like behind the review from MMO Huts at launch, who are a fairly big and noteworthy MMO site, and they've got like a fairly noteworthy video on the game from actual launch time. I'm like 2nd in the search rankings for that, so if Spiral Knights ever took off, I think so would my YouTube career. So that's why I would like Spiral Knights to take off. Beyond that, I would like to see... I would like to see Party Hard get the recognition it deserves right now, just because I'm really enjoying that game. I don't think it's going to be badly received, but I don't know. It's just launched today, and I would like to see it do really well. What games are you looking forward to? I am looking the hell forward to, because I've been waiting the better part of a year for it, probably. I am looking forward to VA11 Hall A, the cyberpunk bartending simulator, visual novel thingy with anime girls and dogs, and it's weird. I've done like... I did the preview, and I did the demo, and I did the PAX demo, so there's like 3 different versions of that game already in my videos on my channel, so if you want to check those out, you should go check those out, because those are fantastic, and I really, really want to see the finished product. And the original launch date for that game was slated to be last February. It has slipped since February. It's slipped by a bit since February. I don't know what's going on with that game, but I want it to be finished. Anyway, I have run long, so I will leave you there. Don't forget to give me questions in the comments below, because that is what this series thrives upon. I am reliant on you to provide me with the content that I need in order to make entertainment for you. It's a symbiotic relationship, much like a lichen colony. See what I did there? We tied it back into slimes in the end. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka, this has been Spiel, and I will see you next time.